Intel raised its forecast for the second time this year. For more on this story, let's check in with Kim Caughey of Fort-Pitt Capital Group. She joins us from Pittsburgh. Kim, welcome to Bloomberg News.
Hi, thanks for having me on your show today.
You're welcome. Kim, what does Intel's change in forecast indicate for fundamental demand for PCs?
I think if you combine this with, or this news today with Dell's release last night, that not only is the consumer still buying PCs even in this lackluster consumer environment, but I think it shows that enterprise is back in a big way, and they're expected to buy PCs probably for the next 18 months or so to replace the ones that are on your desk right now.
Well, Kim, can we also think that, or take from this information from Intel and HP, that they are predicting a recovery going forward, that they might see some things that the rest of us aren't?
I think so. You know, they have very, very good systems that go, if not down to your desktop, whether or not you're going to buy a PC or not, but pretty darn close. And I think they see demand. Intel is a good company, and, you know, they're not going to overmake chips if they don't have to. And I think that their order rate is probably surprising them to the upside, and that's what this announcement is today.
And we should remind folks that Intel is a barometer for the economy, is it not? And it's also a barometer for spending.
It is. You know, when companies hire more people, they generally have to buy a PC. And, you know, that's kind of a coincident indicator for the, you know, the economy. But I think that we can see some growth here, if only in replacement PCs for sure. But, you know, they may be building in some new hires into their forecast, you know, for the worldwide economy.
Kim, as we mentioned, Intel raised its sales forecast for the quarter, but give our viewers and our listeners an indication of how important it is that Intel also increased its gross margin forecast for the quarter as well.
It's very important. The company, as one of your earlier reports pointed out, has very high fixed costs. And although there are, you know, a super operator and very good about their margins, you know, they do need a sufficient run rate. And I think that this really says that they're getting above that run rate in all of their products, not just processors.
Kim, who gets the credit for helping Intel bring its profitability back so quickly? Is it the consumer in Asia? Do they get a lot of credit?
They get some of it, but I think really what's driving at least Dell's results this time is the fact that servers were very strong in the quarter, and that's businesses replacing existing servers, probably not at this point adding to them. There's a concept called virtualization that EMC and VMware have really benefited from in this last, let's say, 2 years, and companies are, you know, doing more, or putting more processes on the same servers. And they're doing that for lots of reasons. One of it is the cost and availability of electricity.
Corporate sector, are we going to see an increase in their demand, say, at the end of this year into 2010?
Yeah, we're looking at that. And the average age of the PCs out there on the corporate desktops is about 4 to 5 years old. It's just getting too expensive to maintain these PCs, and you know, they're not going to upgrade them. That's just too expensive. They're going to replace them. That combined with a new operating system that looks like it's well enough put together to allow an IT department to roll that out. That's the Windows 7. We think all of the stars are aligned for good things to happen. So a new PC might be coming to your desktop if you're out there in corporate America.
And we should point out, I would imagine that as opposed to having one at your home in corporate America, more important, perhaps more important for them to stay more productive and more competitive, they do need the newest technology.
They do, and software never needs less resources. It always needs more. So, you know, that's another reason why we think new PCs are going to be coming out in the enterprise area. Not so much in the consumer. The consumer buys them whenever they wear out or aren't upgradable. You know, most people aren't running exotic software on their home PCs.
Now, Kim, some analysts are saying that even though the outlook's improving, Intel is still just bouncing off the bottom as its chip customers restock inventory rather than order to meet increasing demand. Is that a concern?
It should be, but I think given both Dell and HP's forecast, you know, that is Intel's customer for the most part. So I think that we can see that they're just not refurbishing their inventory that they are going to sell through.
How much longer can the China stimulus keep lifting the tech industry?
Well, I don't know that it's all China at this point. You know, I just don't know that that's true. Sorry, I'm not going to, I don't really have a forecast for you there.
Okay. Kim, we have about 20 seconds left.
Sure.
Are you still looking at BRIC nations to drive tech growth?
Yeah, I do think that's very important. Not only do the consumers want to be able to read the internet just like the rest of the world, but businesses really need it to be more productive. Computers make people productive, and that's what's driving the BRIC adoption for the most part.
Kim Caughey of Fort-Pitt Capital Group joining us from one of my favorite cities, Pittsburgh, and the host of this year's G20. Kim, thanks so much. Appreciate it.